Hello. Is it working? Hello. Is it working? Okay, so mic is working now. Um, so I'm literally gonna change it to my second display so you guys can actually see what I'm doing here. Um, I also need to pop out chat to be visible. But anyways, I have this idea for a mod, and I wanted to see if we could make it today. So I've just set up some basic code and copied some classes from my old script. I thought I would write it today, and then we can like play test it next week, I think. And adjust things if we need to do that. Uh, but essentially, what if like Outlast 2, if bandages and batteries shared the same inventory. Now I have these here that points to it. Getting the batteries was very easy. I have like 30 pointer scans of them. Bandages, on the other hand, was a huge pain in the ass, okay? I tell ya, it was awful. Because the issue is there's no way to set the amount of bandages you spawn with. By default, you spawn with nothing. You don't spawn with any bandages. So, unless you like begin a new playthrough, like, you know, unless you start like the crash or like I think specific checkpoints where you might get one. But other than that, you get nothing. Nothing at all. It's awful. It really is awful. So, uh, it was a nightmare, and I got around to doing a lot of them, but I ran into a problem. But eventually, like, I got around to doing, like, I think 6 of them, like 6 points against, but then eventually I realized that I needed to move to a different area because that area, like, I just couldn't get the pointer paths lower. But the issue is finding another area like that was really hard, and even when I did, I just couldn't get it to work. So in the end, I had to give up on that, which is why we're here now, so yeah. I'm sorry if the colors look a bit washed out. I think HDR is on and I don't have any tone mapping right now, but it shouldn't really matter since all we're doing is programming. But oh well. Let's come down here and let's see. I hate this AI generated code. I wish I could find a way to disable it. Like, please. I want to write code myself, you know, I have this be written. Anyways, how the fuck do I disable this? Also, we don't need to get base address yet. We haven't even written anything to memory. So to explain what this code does, we create a process class. Then we go in here and we like get our process, which just gets the process that we put through here. I really need to redesign the process class at some point. Then we check if the process is valid, which we do by checking if it's not null. This basically just returns the process, so yeah. Essentially, if it's null, then that means it's 0, so that means it will not break out of the loop. And if it is valid, then it will be true and it will break out of the loop. And afterwards, we just basically say Alice2 not running, we'll sleep for 1000 milliseconds / 1 second, and then we'll clear the screen and try again. Now down here, if everything goes according to plan, it should just break out immediately instead of going through the loop, and then go ahead and say Alice2 process found, and then we can go ahead and write our code now. So that's all I've really done. And obviously included stuff so we can build it. So the next step I wanted to do was to actually start writing it. So in here we have our second while loop, which will be a sort of like our main while loop. So what I'm gonna go ahead and do now is first I think we should probably I don't know, like, let's see. What we need to do is read memory. So we need to check if in this case I'm not sure I'm not sure these memory classes they are in fact not. We need to actually have a memory class for this. I guess memory has the same sort of thing, too. So yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh wait, no, never mind. Memory actually has the process class in it. I did not think of that. Well, in that specific instance, we don't actually need the process class at all here. We can just use memory for this purpose, so out this goes, I guess, and in this place we have memory, which we're just going to call memory. And yeah, here we're just going to go mem.getProcess and mem.validProcess. Well, in this case, we don't actually deal with that, I'm pretty sure. But we can go in and do .process instead, so go mem.process.validProcess. mem.getProcess just gets the process, right? It just returns. No, it actually does do this, but it returns whether or not it succeeds. So if it's not a valid process, okay, so this gets the process and the base address. If they're not valid, then it returns 0. So what we're going to go in and do is that we're basically just going to check if this returns, then I guess. So if memory.getProcess, if it returns true, then we break. That way we don't really need this right here. That way we don't need additional code here. Breaks out of the loop once the ls2 process has been found. So that's what get process does. And that's basically it. So this is our code right now. Down here we want to go ahead and actually read something. We're going to read memory. Let's see. So I forgot all of the different stuff. We need an address first, which is I think it's the base address, right? Read memory. How was it this worked? I forgot because I've not done this in such a long time. Yeah, it's the base address and then plus the offset. So in this specific case, we just pass through that read pointer. And in mem.read pointer, we pass through the we pass through the address of it, which wouldn't that just be the base address, right? Like this base address here. Or maybe it would be this address here. I forgot how exactly it was I did it. It's been a long time. Because memory by default does not really take into account your base address. So I think it's just the base address plus its offsets actually. That's how read pointer works, right? If I could find out. Yeah, here we go. No, it actually adds the base address on top of the address. And then it adds each offset. So we actually don't have to worry about that at all. It's because, yeah, read pointer does that way. It's because read memory does not automatically add the base address, so when you use read memory, we still have to manually add it. Because it does not do that by default. But read pointer does, so yeah. Oh. So we don't have to worry about the base address, we just have to pass through the address. Which in this case, I guess would be whatever it's pointing to. Let me know if we boot up Outlast 2 so we can see what. I'm just going to boot it up and go into the game. I'm not going to do anything else, so yeah. I'm going to mute the game because we don't really need audio right now. Continue. And I'm just going to go ahead and grab cheat engine really quickly. Going to connect it to here. Yes, keep it. And I'm not surprised the address is not working properly. But I think it must be whatever address it's pointing to, right? Oh no, I think it's this address, right? Actually, no, I think it's this address. Because this is this is your base address, right? And then this is the address that we add on top of it. In this case, this is not valid here. I'm fairly sure we can find one that is valid, though. I just have to go ahead and... where's the deep memory? I'm not gonna point this scan, but I just need this up here. So I can go in and open in our bandages here. All 2 bandages, bandage 8. We grab a different one that's valid. Yeah, because if I take a look at this, it says this value, and if I take a look at this, it says some other value. So is it there's just that value we're supposed to pass through? Because these two together give that. So if we add this plus this, right? Plus the offsets, we get that. So this must be the address, right? That we have to pass through. I don't see what else we would pass through. So let's go back in and let's see. What are we even trying to get here? We're trying to get the battery, right? So we can check if we're trying to get the battery value. So let's go ahead and do that first. What I think I'm going to end up doing probably is go have like a... and batteries is set to 0 by default. And then up here we'll go read memory, read pointer. And if I remember correctly, it's from down and top, because then we go ahead and we grab this address right here and we add that on top of it until we get the final result. So in here it's going to be 0x 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 0x, here we go. And that's it, basically. That's how we're going to do this. And then obviously we're going to have to include our batteries. And the size of the batteries. And then read memory works by returning 1 if it succeeds and 0 if it fails. So in this case, we're just going to go in here and check if it fails. Then in that case, we fail to read it. It should automatically output the system error, so we don't really need to do that. We're just going to, like, I don't know, I guess break out of it instead, because it should only return std cout. Value. Yes, that is correct. And then afterwards, if that went well, then afterwards we have to get the other value, mem dot read memory. Pointer, and this time we're gonna do the other pointer, so that would be our bandages. It would not surprise me if we have to go in and make changes to this later again, because I have not been able to quite fix it. But I'll take a look at that tomorrow, I think. I need this so I can go in here and we can go... So I might have to go in and overwrite this later again anyways. And then we're gonna go ahead and have a int bandages is all set to 0 by default, and then we're gonna go in here and go and bandages. I hate that it's writing code for me. How do I go in and make sure it's not writing code for me, you know? Like, I'm trying to make it not write code for me, but it's writing code for me. Oh wait, it's messed up. This meant to be one here. There we go. Anyways, my point is that, like, it's writing code for me. I don't know how do I go in and disable it. Is this like an extension that comes installed or what? There's nothing. Can I go into like the settings? What is it? That's not what I wanted to go in and do. Copilot. Oh my god. Copilot toggle. Here we go. Okay, I hope this fixed it. I hope it disabled it. Because I actually want to write the code myself, you know. And I can do this myself because I've done it before, so yeah. Give me a second. Alright, let's go back and let's continue. So, let's see. We have our memory here that we have read and hopefully succeed with. And that's basically what they do. Now next up, after we've read those two, we need to go ahead and read our we need to set some sort of maximum value. So we need to have some kind of like integer here that can work as like a constant integer, I think you could say. That we won't be changing. Inventory, which is going to be set to 12 right now. Now what I'm going to go in and do is that I'm going to go ahead and the way I've decided this is that bandages is going to take up 4 batteries. So what we're going to go in and do is that we're going to bandages. If we like to have 2 bandages, then we do like 4 times 2, right? To get like the amount of batteries that it would take up, which is 8. So what we're going to go and do is that we're going to go ahead and set bandages equal to bandages times 4 or times 2. Wait. No, it is times 4, right? Because we want to get that value. If we have 2 times 4, if we have 4, that's 16. So yeah. Anyways, space is equal to 4. That's the amount of space that one single bandage takes up. And we are basically going to go and times that with the bandage space. So we have bandages times this bandage space, and then we're going to get And then we're gonna have some sort of like integer, like this could become like the bandage space multiplier or something like that, because we're multiplying it with the bandages. So yeah, although I don't know. How will we go on about doing this? Actually, it's a good question. Let's see. Because we don't have them have the same name. We can't have them. We can't make them have the same name, so we'll have to come with some other name. Bandage space. I don't know really. Space used is also going to be equal to 0 by default. Bandage space used. I think that could work. So what we're going to go ahead and do is that we're going to set our bandage space used equal to this. So this ends up being our equation: bandages times the bandage space, and we get the bandage space used. Now, what we also want is some stuff like in total space used, which is also going to be equal to 0, and that's going to be quite simple. Total space used is going to be equal to batteries plus bandages plus bandage space. Now all we want to go in and do is they want to check if all of bandage space used, actually in this case. If total space used is more than max inventory, then I would like to go in and set max inventory to I would like to go in and lower our total space used. So in that case, you know, we probably want to go in and like remove whatever we, you know, just got. So in this specific instance, like, you know, I think it would make sense to maybe like have some way of knowing what's taking up so much space. So we know combined that they're taking up that amount of space, but we don't know which one. We don't know if like we picked up a bandage or we picked up a battery. The way we could keep track of that is to keep track of like two versions, the previous value and the current value. So that way we can basically just check, hey, if a value has changed, then we just set it to its previous value, I guess. And we set the amount of batteries you have to that. So yeah. So in this case, let's go in and have like lost value. This value set to 0 and lost bandages value is also set to 0. So what I'm gonna go ahead and do is that I'm gonna go ahead and set it here equal to batteries, and down here lost bandages is equal to bandages. That way we can override it, and if this happens we can go within here and say if, let's say, lost batteries value does not equal our current batteries value, then we should set our batteries value equal to our lost batteries value. Although actually I think another way we could probably do this instead of having to set it is to just override it immediately. So go in here and go if mem dot write memory dot read pointer. And we're basically just gonna copy the stuff for the battery's value up here. What parameters was it took in? It's same as read memory, except it's yeah, same as read memory, so it's actually just the same that we're taking here. Oh, why do we have 2 read point? Oh, right. I meant to not copy the entire thing. It was so much so override it. It's probably easier at this point to do. We have 1 too many. There we go. So obviously if this fails, we're gonna go stdc out. And then we're just gonna, I guess, break out of it because it failed. But if that is not the case, then we check if lost bandages value doesn't equal bandages, and then we go ahead and do it with bandages instead. So we go ahead and go if and then we go ahead and copy the bandages value here. And then we go in here and we go stdc out. Fail to write bandages value. Std end. And that probably like just handles the code really. So there you go. That's basically what it does. And the reason we just do write memory here is because when this goes around and we go here, we'll anyways be reading it again, so it doesn't really matter. We don't need to override it because we'll be reading it down here anyways. I think with this, we basically have everything that we need. Obviously, we don't need to be reading that frequently. And if I'm being realistic, we could probably just go ahead and add in a little second delay, because we don't need to be reading it every single, you know. We don't need to be reading it, you know, like thousands of times a second. I think once or twice a second, actually once a second is probably fine. So yeah. So now, this means that we should not be able to carry 4 bandages anymore. I guess at first we should probably simulate this, right? Like, instead of having this actually be like this, we should probably like try to simulate it. Maybe. Because I highly doubt it's gonna work the first time around, but we can try, I guess. So, What I'd like us to do really quickly is probably just make up some kind of scenario. Like... I'm just gonna copy over a lot of this code right here. But what I wanted us to do was to like come up with like a specific scenario. And again, like we don't need to write to the batteries or manager's value constantly either, so this is completely fine. What happens if, let's say, we set our batteries to, let's say, 12? In a specific case, we'll just go ahead and overwrite them because that's easier. We'll set batteries to be equal to last batteries value, and we'll set this right here. Managers to be equal to last manager's value. Just so we can test this to make sure it actually works. And down here, we will just be like, we don't really have like anything to read it from that like changes, so we'll just exclude this, I think, for now. But essentially what I wanted to test was to see if it could even like modify it properly to make sure everything is working. So I'm going to see out our batteries value. Actually, I'm going to go see out batteries. Batteries. And then afterwards, we're going to do our bandages. Bandages, and then we're going to go std and L for now. So this is what we're going to be doing while this is running. So yeah. Yeah, we can't really read it, so like we can't really read the memory, so we're just gonna remove this and just set it equal to whatever it currently is. Which in that case, like if we can't override it, then like that might be a problem. But you know what we can do? We can go std story string to int, and then go stsin, which returns a string, right? It returns an iStream. How the... So we cannot stream it into it. What I wanted to go and do was to set our batteries automatically here, because that way we can just set them to 0 here and be good. So let's say that we go in here and we go, we want this to be equal to std sin, but this would definitely not be valid code. String, can we do that? Ah, I see how it works, okay. So, and batteries. This is probably not valid. No, this is not valid. We need some sort of temporary string container, I guess. Container. And then go. Why is this not valid? It says that's how you... Oh, wait, the opposite way, I see. There we go. Wait, so batteries is valid? Yeah, okay, maybe we don't need the string container then. I have bandages as well. But in that case, there's really no need for this one down here because we can just manually deal with it. There's just like a test to see if things are working how they should be. Let's go ahead and build it now. Okay, I meant to provide an input. Let's do 12 and let's do 0. Batteries 12, bandages 0. Okay. So what happens if we say 13 now and then say 0? Batteries 12, bandages 0. Okay. If we say 12 again and we say 4 bandages, it will not allow us to do it. But if we say 4 batteries and 1 bandage, that's valid because that adds up to 8. In fact, we can say 4 and 2 and it's still valid. But 4 and 3 is no longer valid. Oh, my throat is so fucked today, man. I guess it's because I'm up really late. I should probably be sleeping. But as you can see, our test is successful because we can't go above that like 12 limit. So that's good. I will go in and comment out this code for now. We'll probably be keeping it around us like a test. Should we decide to add more stuff to it later, we always have something we can test with. But for now, we can actually test the thing now. Now here, the good news, at least, is that we can easily override it if we want to. So every time we, let's say, reach this end part, before we wait 1 second, is that we go in and we overwrite. Is that we go in and maybe we set some like determined value for the battery. Or maybe we should do it like before that, I don't know. And then see like whatever it's back, I guess. Well, I can like the character's only designed to have 8 batteries in them, so maybe we should make the maximum space 8 and then make them actually 2 here. By doing this, we basically go in and we make sure that the amount of space used is only 2. So if we go 2, that means we can have 4 bandages or 8 batteries, which keeps us within like the like game's like stuff. You know, the game, I'm not sure how well it deals with like going above 8. I'm not sure what would happen. But then we need to go in and change like the maximum amount of batteries you can carry and stuff, and that becomes a whole other thing that we now need to like do pointer scans for and so on, so it's just easier to keep it at 8. So yeah. But it was basically the same. We already tested the logic down here, so yeah. But what I would like to go in and do is try to maybe see if we could override the bandages somehow. Like, let's say we wrote to it that we wanted to add like an additional amount to it. Because I just want to know what would happen. So, if I went within here and let's say before we read the memory, let's say did some more testing up here. In this specific case, I think I'm literally gonna write some values to it, just so you know, for more additional testing. So what we can do is that we can go ahead and we can grab this right here. We don't really care about if it fails, because we're not really in any kind of state right now, so I'm not too worried about it failing. But what I would like to go in and do is to see if we could write some number to it. So in this specific instance, we can always like create some number, like a int default batteries is equal to, let's say, 8. And then we pass through the default batteries here. And we did the same thing up here as well. Int default bandages set to force the maximum. That right memory. We're just gonna copy the line down here. And then we're just gonna write it with this basically, so yeah. I would just like to see what it would do in this case. In this case, it would probably remove all the batteries since that's the one it checks first. So yeah. Although in this specific case, the way it actually works, it actually wouldn't do anything. Wait, yeah, it would actually work because they wouldn't match up. So I would like to run the program now and see what would happen after I build it. Again, this is just more testing. So we can make sure it works before I go ahead and test it at some point. Next week. We do not have any like input. No, yeah, it might just be running. Okay.
The chapel.
No,
somebody there will know where they've taken Lynn.
Weird. I do wonder, since I was able to get the bandages, and this is what I always forget, I'm able to get the bandages right. Why not just grab that value and grab whatever like address it's pointing to instead? That way you can do it anywhere and you can get like more. Oh my god. Oh my god. Sometimes I feel like I'm not very smart, and the thing is, this happens like every time I get back to cheat engine again. I'm like, why don't I just use the value like that's pointing to? Have access to the pointers, you know, I've done a pointer scan. Why not just use the values that the pointers are pointing to, you know? I'm not very, like, sometimes I feel pretty dumb, you know, because it's so obvious, and I've made this mistake so many times. It would have made the whole bandage thing take like 15 minutes, and the battery one take like half an hour. By the way, I did like 30 pointer scans for the battery one because, like, I'm not joking about this. Like, it kept going down a little bit, and then randomly it would just go down. Like, every 10 scans I would do, it just go down by, like, a lot, you know? So it's like, it went from, like, 1,000,000 to, like, 100,000, and then from, like, 100,000 to, like, 5,000. And it... And then from like, around 100,000 to, like, around 10,000, or actually around 5,000, I think. And it was like every 10 pointer scans, I think it did that. So it's like, it just kept going down, like, and the other pointer scans would just go down a little bit. So it's weird. But anyways, yeah, something in the code is not working. But at least we know that the pointers work, so those are not the issue. It's this part down here that's broken. So are we even sure that the total space used is more than I'm even sure the total space used is more than max inventory. Because we changed our max inventory here, right? To 8 and 2. Yeah, that means that this is the maximum we can have now. So, let's see. I'll have a debugger in VS Code. I'll just output E and see if that could potentially help us. We're gonna ping these up here. Just so we have a bit of an easier time doing this. Let's go down here and let's run afterwards. We get E, so in this specific case, what is lost batteries value going to be equal to? Oh, I know what we're doing wrong now. We're not supposed to write batteries here, we're supposed to write the lost value of them. Because the current one is the new one, but the last one is the one that, yeah, is within the limits of the inventory, so yeah. It's just printing E every second. E. Anyways, now it should work properly. So if I go within here and I run it, we have no batteries, but we have a ton of healing. There we go, guys. And until we get rid of that healing, we're not allowed to use batteries. Now, one issue that I've figured out so far is that the game does not allow you to use healing unless you're actually hot. And the game doesn't allow you to reload your camera unless it's low on battery. So we might need some like additional like maybe some like shortcuts that allows you to just go in and like discard stuff from your inventory, like, you know, discard a battery or discard a bandage. So yeah, but at the very least right now it appears to be working. Now I think we can leave really quickly. Actually leave, go into like a new game, like let's set our bandages to 0 really quickly. So our default bandages to 0. And let's go ahead and build it like this. And let me just go in on the crash now. And let me quickly go and run it. I know why. It's because the offset thing is wrong again. The bandage is offset. What's the other cheat engine thing? No, I need to go in and grab the bandage one. Grab one that actually works. And then just go in and read this value here, which should remain the same, I'm pretty sure. Although I meant this part specifically here. No, it's actually different. Okay. Offsets are gonna be, it's just 1010 afterwards. That's actually the same, that's also the same, so let's copy in the new values here for our bandages to work properly. So now it should work. So I still need to go in and like, it's not ready just yet because I still need to go in and fix the bandages point and make sure it's actually reliable. I have to rebuild it again. So I need to find like a very reliable bandage value like I did with the batteries before I can go in and do this. But if you go look, we have...
Find Lynn. Nothing matters but Lynn.
Well, in this area, there's actually a bandage you can pick up. And what I wanted to do is that I wanted to go out and test. Oh no, I got hurt. Please don't. I want to see is what would happen if we pick it up.
Oh shit!
So we have a bandage.
Jesus!
We pick it up and we have
there's
no
bodies.
She's
not in here. Lynn! Lynn!
Now, what I'd like to go in and do is try out, and I'm not sure if it's gonna break the script again. Actually, yeah, I just remember, like, it does not actually show you guys. Give me a second, let me show you that. Over here. I forgot that, like, I'm not used to streaming on, like, multiple monitors. I usually only use one monitor when streaming, but what I can quickly go ahead and show you is what I mean by this. I'm not sure if the pointer is valid. No, it's not valid anymore. Memory view, we have to go in here and then go tools. We'll have to do this every single time. It's a bit annoying. Maybe I should just do a quick pointer scan because it wouldn't take that long to do a pointer scan. Here we go, this value right here. 10, 10. That's almost the same, but just without the just read out this here. And I don't know about its offset, really. This one right here. No, it's the same. So it should work if I build it now. And then I can show you guys really quickly what I mean by this. So yes, so you notice how now we have 8 batteries and
nothing matters but
Lynn. So let's go down and let's get some bandages real quickly. No, I missed the jump. Let me do the jump. There we go. It's faster. Now I go down here and I go
oh, shit.
over here and I go pick up the bandage.
Jesus!
And I don't have the bandage on me.
No, there's no bodies.
Let's remove it.
She's not in here.
Pretty cool,
Lynn!
right?
Lynn!
So it works, luckily. Now what I wanted to see was if, let's say, we set it to 6 instead. Well, let us actually take it, you know. But I'll have to redo the... I'll have to, like, reload the save really quickly to actually be able to test, and then it's gonna fail and crash. So that's just good. Well, I'm pretty sure the memory address is valid. No, the memory address is still valid. Oh my god. Nice. Wait. It should be 0 though. Like, we don't have one right now, do we?
Find Lynn.
Oh wait,
nothing matters but Lynn.
Right. We start out with 1. I forgot about it. We start out with 1. But we write 0 here to it. But that's when the program starts up. Maybe I will need to restart the program. There we go. We have 0 and we got... oh wait, I probably have to rebuild it actually. Give me a second. I probably have to rebuild the program. Run. Now there you go. You see we have 6 batteries. So let's say we go down here now, and it's cool that Blake can like fall backwards like that. It's pretty cool.
Oh shit!
Now if we go ahead and we take it,
Jesus!
We actually have it.
No, there's no bodies.
How cool is that?
She's not in here.
Which means
Lynn!
our script works.
Lynn!
That's pretty cool. I'm gonna exit the game for now. Wow, we've been going for an hour already, damn. But yeah, so our script works. This is just for testing purposes. I'm gonna hide it now. What I would like to do is also have like some kind of information display, like that displays like, hey, how much you currently have and so on. At the current moment, you kind of just have to do the math yourself. So, yeah. But, you know, that's for later. For now, though, I mean, it writes memory, and it reads it. We have done it. The model is basically complete. I would also like to add a hard mode where we put even more restrictions on, but that requires us actually getting the difficulty. Now I am aware in the game there are a so I would like to, if I can figure out how to like determine what difficulty we're at, to go back and make a part 2 where we add in like the difficulty and where we add in additional stuff. if I can figure out how to do that. It probably wouldn't be as long, but it would certainly work. And then I'll probably have fixed the bandages issue by that point, so yeah. But other than that, it works. So yeah, that's pretty cool. I'm gonna write this as a test as well. I guess I should probably will quickly commit it. Outlast 2 shared inventory mod. I'm just gonna upload as a public repo, and we're gonna include everything but build here. Actually, can I will quickly go in and make a git ignore file for the build? Build slash, we don't want the build to be included in the this is from the in the GitHub repository. That's possible. And I'm basically just gonna make a public one, I think. There we go. And it just commits everything here. So we can just commit everything now. With a message, I think, going over what we want. So what do we want to say here? And yeah, we're not staging anything from the build folders, so that's good. I guess that's probably the most correct. Oh, fuck, I forgot. I have not configured this. How was it you configured it again? I forgot. It's kind of annoying. Here we go. I don't usually tend to put my real email in here, so I'm just gonna like put my name here and then random email. YT, enter. And for my email, I'm just gonna put in whatever this example email. Example at example.com. Done. Let's try to commit it again. There we go. Publish branch. I already just gave it a name. What do you mean? Public repository. Oh my god. Give me a second. There's nothing in here. I think I'm just gonna have to delete it. There's no code in here. Let me just delete it really quickly. Then try to publish it again. I have to write down authentication code. Give me a second, let me move it over here. Verify. Okay, repository is dead now. I killed it. Oh yeah, by the way, look at all of the other repos I have here. Pretty cool. We have Outlast. You don't need to worry about that one. There's some other stuff here like alt code editor. Maybe I'll showcase some of this stuff one day. But for now, I'm not going to be doing that. I might as well shut down the engine as well since we're not going to be using it anymore. Let's try to push the changes again. There we go, it's working. I published it. Yes, you can periodically get fetch stuff. We got it, guys, we did it. It's on here now. Outlast 2 shared inventory mod. There we go. I like have all this workflow thing. So that's basically what I have right now. Yeah, I think that's it, Willie, for now. If you're interested, I guess you can go. I might just be able to link it in the description, actually. Give me a second. Let me see if I can link it in the description. Although you'll have to manually probably go in and change the bandages pointer yourself, because the one that's currently there is not particularly reliable. So yeah. Outlast 2. I've saved it in the description. I guess we can go ahead and check if it actually is in the description, though. Just hit refresh. In the description, I guess we can go ahead and check if it actually is in the description, though. And as you can see, it is here now. So you can go on here and try it out, I guess. As mentioned, you'll need to replace the you need to go in and replace the bandage stuff yourself. Because this one does not have particularly good bandage stuff. Because the pointer for the bandage value is pretty bad, so yeah. But other than that, like, thank you for watching, I guess. I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye for now.